I'm speaking to Don Thomas, a former NASA astronaut who is visiting South Africa and has stopped in at York High School this evening. Don, I want to ask you, when you were sitting in the shuttle and it was taking off on one of your 4 visits, behind you was a bank of computers, technicians, very, very clever people. Did you ever think that 2 or 3 decades later, man would be booking seats to go on space travels? I'm referring to Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what Elon Musk and Richard Branson and a number of the other commercial companies are doing. I don't think 20 years ago I thought it would be this soon that we would have commercial flights to space. And we're probably a year to 2 years away from sending the first passengers up. Elon Musk will probably be the first. Richard Branson, he's ready also within the next year or so. And it's pretty exciting. For me, the more people that get to space, the more people that can see the beauty of our Earth, the beauty of our planet, see how fragile it is, then we'll have more people down on Earth here, who are thinking about how we can protect it and keep it, safe for future generations.
When you're out in space, you say that the Earth's atmosphere is very thin, and the rest is just darkness. Surely, it's a very fragile situation that we're in.
The first look out the window for every astronaut, it's always the same. You float to the window and there's a gasp. You go, oh, wow, how beautiful it is. And every astronaut gasps. And for a couple of reasons. For me, it was the pitch black sky. It's a darker black color than I've ever seen before. And coming right up to that blackness is the limb of the Earth. And right along the edge of the Earth, you see this bright blue glowing. And that's our atmosphere. It looks paper thin from space. And so everybody gasps when they see that. We're used to this beautiful blue sky here in George, and it looks like it goes on forever and ever. From space, you see it edge on, and it really appears paper thin. Most of the atmosphere protecting us here on planet Earth is in that first 30 kilometers or so. And that's about it. And you see that with your eye from space. So every astronaut comes back to Earth with a keen appreciation for how thin our atmosphere is and how fragile planet Earth is.
And when you're in the space shuttle, there's a lot of debris up in space, I believe, that's floating around the Earth. Did you see any of that, or is that just figures on a grid, on a technical grid?
You hear a lot about space debris, space garbage up there, and what these objects are old rocket stages. They could be old satellites that are no longer working and they're orbiting the Earth. So there's a lot of material up there. Slowly over time it falls back to Earth. Even in space there's some residual atmosphere that causes drag for these objects to come down, but we still worry about it. And on 2 of my 4 flights we got hit in the window of the space shuttle by a small particle, probably about the size of a grain of sand, which if I tossed it at you today, you wouldn't even feel it. But if you hit the space shuttle with that at speeds of 28,000 kilometers an hour, it can do some damage. So these 2 impacts on the window of the shuttle caused a little crater, only a millimeter or so across and a millimeter deep. So it wasn't damaging at all, but it just reminds you that there is debris up in space. Most of the objects bigger than my fist, we can track the orbits of it, and we know where those are. Anything smaller than my fist, we have no idea. And these are the ones you worry about, because it doesn't take much of a particle, maybe a centimeter or so in size, traveling at these super fast speeds. It can do a lot of damage in space. But it's a very low probability of actually getting hit.
Okay, Don, the other thing is we've got the Square Kilometre Array, which is at Carnarvon in the Northern Cape, which is a very exciting project, a scientific project. Have you visited the Square Kilometre Array?
I have not seen the SKA yet, but I would very much like to. I think it's an incredible resource. You'll have scientists from all over the planet, scheduling time on there. And the discoveries that we'll be making with the radio telescopes, in the future, I think are going to be phenomenal. And I think it gives our young learners here in South Africa, it gives them an idea. It's like, I want to be a space explorer. I want to grow up and maybe be an astronomer working on the SKA. And there's other opportunities that lie ahead for them as well.
So young South Africans are actually well poised with the knowledge that's in South Africa and the scientific research that's being done here. And of course, we've got our own hero, Mark Shuttleworth, who's already been on that trip.
That's right. You got Mark Shuttleworth. You've got great innovators like Elon Musk, also from South Africa. And I think that spirit of innovation, that spirit of exploration, I think that's part of the spirit of the South African people here.
Thank you very much, and all the best for your trip down the garden route.
It's been a great visit to George, and I'm looking forward to coming back again in the future. It's a beautiful, beautiful city here, and the people have been so warm, so I appreciate the hospitality from the whole city.